a lot of myths about coming to Canberra, living in Canberra and the like. Having moved here from somewhere else, are there things that you found to be true? And conversely, things that you found to be like completely wrong and unexpected?
Is Canberra cold? True.
True.
Is Canberra boring? No. Canberra is not a boring place as a uni student.
G'day and welcome to the Choosing Your Uni podcast. I'm your host, Rob Malicki, coming today from somewhere special. I'm on Ngunnawal country in Canberra, and more than a little bit of a unique location, I'm at a wine bar on campus, and I have a special guest here today. Her name is Alyssa. Alyssa, thanks for joining me on the Choosing Your Uni podcast.
My name is Alyssa Ingham. We're currently at ANU, sitting at the wine bar on campus at Symposium. No worries at all, Rob. Thanks for having me.
This is so cool, and for those people who are listening along, we're sitting in this lovely wine bar, which honestly is the only wine bar I've seen on any campus anywhere in Australia. And I'm taking the piss a little bit because I've had a very nice little Barossa Shiraz poured for me. And we're sitting, it's a lovely room. You've kind of got exposed brickwork, kind of the air conditioning vents up over the top. So it's a little bit industrial, polished concrete floor, and all of these lovely bottles of wine. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the Australian National University. And Alyssa, you're not from here, are you?
Not exactly. I wouldn't consider myself a Canberran. I'm from Darug country or Sydney, and I grew up there basically my whole life from the age of 5 years old to 18. And then at the ripe age of 18, I moved down to Canberra for uni.
So what made you decide to come to Canberra?
Yeah, well,
it's a bit cool, no, for an 18-year-old?
Yeah. Well, I think like a lot of people, I wanted that. They look at like the movies and they see like the American US like uni experience, and by looking into ANU I felt like that's the closest like I could get to that, seeing ANU and seeing what they offered for students. It was so relevant to what I wanted to study, and I was just like, I've lived in a big city my whole life, and like it was just so nice coming here and being able to walk like a minute to class rather than an hour bus ride. Yeah.
How did you even discover it to begin with? So, I mean, I'm obviously in higher education, so I know this institution well, and it's an amazing institution, and we're going to get into all of that, I'm sure. But how did you discover it to begin with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was just like internet research, I guess. I think I was the only person from my year who came to ANU. Everyone else had gone somewhere else, but I'd seen it ranked quite highly, and I was like, oh, they offer a direct application, free application. I'm like, I might as well apply. You never know.
Did you already know what you wanted to study?
No.
Now that's interesting. So that's a gutsy decision. So you weren't exactly sure what you wanted to study and you decided to move away. Tell me more.
Yeah, well, I've always loved music, and most people, when they think of music, they don't automatically think Canberra. And I've also always loved politics, but at first I was like, I want to study something in politics. I want to study something in policy. And I only was a little bit closer to the end of my year 12 that I was like, actually, I'm going to miss doing music and I can't live without it. And like, I think the double degree at ANU really appealed to me, where I'm like, you get to combine a little bit of your interest. You're in the heart of politics, but you also get to study something else. One for the heart, one for the mind.
This is such a great expression. And I was actually just looking on the ANU website in preparation for this interview, and they do have this really nice graphic. It's like a Venn diagram. And for those of you who don't know what a Venn diagram is, it's, you've got two overlapping circles, and you have one circle and then you've got another circle, and where they overlap, you have this kind of commonality. And they call it, I think it's like a integrated double degree and a vertical double degree, which is like a bachelor's master's, where one flows through into the other, which I thought was fascinating. So that's obviously a bit of a focus for the uni, is encouraging people to explore different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Like flexible double degrees are one of the most popular options at ANU. All of my friends do double degrees. I do a double degree. It's kind of the ANU niche, I guess.
What's it been like moving here? Because as we were walking around campus, you were talking and saying a lot of people move here for uni. And interestingly, I was at the Careers Expo in Melbourne recently and interviewed a couple of ANU students there who'd also moved from Melbourne to Canberra. So a lot of people moving in here, which is interesting and a little bit unlike a lot of other unis. So what's that process been like?
Yeah, well, I think ANU recognises they have so many people moving, and so that transition has been super smooth. And I guess considering I haven't gone home in 6 months, it must be doing a pretty good job. But yeah, like there's always something to do on campus. There's always something to find, whether it be a society event or something in your residential hall. You're never bored here, even though there's the Canberra standard that you might find yourself a little lost, but I don't think that's been the case in my hand.
Alyssa, wait. Tell me a little bit more about the direct application and what it is, how it works.
Yeah, so the direct application is designed for domestic undergrads studying Australian Year 12 or November IB, and it's an application to kind of make your life a little bit easier. So how it works is you apply in March of Year 12, and then from there in September, so actually tomorrow, this whole bunch of students will be finding out whether they receive an offer based off of their Year 11 selection rank. And then regardless of what ATAR you get, if you've got an offer made on your Year 11 marks, that offer will be honoured and you will get to go to ANU regardless of what ATAR. But the really good thing is that this is a 3-on-1 application. You're assessed for admission, but you're also assessed for scholarships and accommodation all in one. So you don't need to submit a separate application. If you're doing the direct application, you just submit one. And the even better thing is you don't need to resubmit when you get your ATAR either. We automatically assess you off of what's higher, your Year 11 or Year 12. So if your Year 11 selection rank wasn't super good, we'll automatically reassess you on Year 12.
That's a direct application to ANU. Where
Correct.
would people find out more information about that?
On the ANU website, you can find everything about that application, and it's a free application.
So what's it been like living on campus? Let's talk more about where you live and what it's been like.
Yeah.
You're in a res hall?
Yeah, so I'm in a self-catered, self-contained hall. I live in a 6-share apartment currently, and I previously lived in a 5-share apartment, which is where you're just sharing your living commons with however so many people. And I moved in last year with 4 complete strangers that I didn't know and just hoped for the best, I guess. It's been quite a positive experience living there. I'm the social director for my hall, so I get to organise a lot of events. Yeah.
You actually said just before we started recording, you were like, yeah, these guys are like some of my best friends now.
Yeah, for sure. Like we're going on a trip next week to regional New South Wales, which is quite fun. We hang out all the time, and yeah, I guess it was just by chance that I found them. Might even get matching tattoos, but...
I have to ask now, what would you have on your matching tattoos if you guys got them?
Well, this is a bit of a funny story. Valentine's Day last year, we were all having dinner together and we needed a mascot. So we went to Big W and we got a bunny. And we deemed it the mascot for our accommodation, and we made an Instagram and everything. So now 2 of us have the bunny tattoo, and
like
the rest
of
us, have the bunny tattoo, and the rest of us are waiting, and became quite, I guess, infamous in our res hall for being the girls in the share with the bunnies.
It's like you're not truly committed to the friendship unless you've got the tattoos.
Exactly.
This is so good. I love the story. One of the things that I love about ANU, this campus is just so wonderful. It's this big outdoor campus. It's got this really chilled vibe, but it's so modern in so many ways too. And this central section where we're sitting at the Symposium Wine Bar is all been built in the last couple of years. So fantastic facilities. Tell me what it's like being a student on campus here.
I think being a student at ANU and on campus, like everything is so close. It's quite easy to live on campus and not leave campus. Like you have a grocery shop, you have a chemist. It's very easy to quite literally not leave. And it's very centralized in terms of, if I wake up at 8:50 and my class is at 9 a.m., I'm still making it to class, which is super good. And I think that's kind of the benefit you get living on campus. And also the experience, like the uni experience that everyone looks for is that community aspect. And I think no matter where you're living at ANU or on a res hall, you're going to have that community experience.
Let's talk about myths. There's a lot of myths about coming to Canberra, living in Canberra and the like. Having moved here from somewhere else, are there things that you found to be true? And conversely, things that you found to be like completely wrong and unexpected?
Is Canberra cold? True.
True.
Is Canberra boring? No. Canberra is not a boring place as a uni student. Like, if you have 10-minute walk to the city. How is that boring? And I think that's the biggest myth that got debunked. Everyone questioned why I wanted to move to Canberra. All of my friends back in Sydney, one of the largest cities in Australia. And yeah, it's not a boring place, but a very cold place, yes.
Exceptional food scene here, isn't it? Like food and coffee. You've got quite a discerning public service here, which is the whole machination of government, or a big chunk of it anyway, is run out of here of Canberra. So as a result, you've got people that enjoy those sorts of things. So, fantastic food. My favourite bakery in all of Australia, Kingston, Silo. Do you know it?
No.
Oh my God,
what is
Alyssa.
it?
Oh my God. Silo Bakery is like...
What do they sell?
Ridiculous. It's this bakery where they sell, like they do cooked breakfasts and things like that. They used to have a cheese room, but they do the most insane pastries and cakes. Fantastic coffee. Yeah, it's like cholesterol heaven. You just go there. It's just brilliant. I absolutely love it to bits, which is where I'm going tomorrow morning for breakfast.
I might have to check it out.
Definitely have to check
really
out.
Cool.
Silo is absolutely gold. And that's the thing. You've been here for how long and you haven't yet run across Silo?
Probably like a year and a half. Still never heard of it.
Incredible. So that tells you everything you need to know. Some of the hidden gems are still waiting for you to be found after 18 months. That's fantastic. All right, we talked a little bit about life on campus. Let's niche into your degrees, can we? So, because you're doing an interesting combo, politics and music. Talk me through them.
Well, obviously in a flexible double degree, you're doing 2 different programs in one, graduate in 4 years, which is, I guess, the appeal. In music, I'm a musicology major, so I'm doing, I guess, research, production, that sort of thing into a whole wide range of genres. And then within my political science, I guess you're really going to like it's the hub for politics. So all of your lecturers are people who have worked in politics or are currently working in politics or researching. And it's like, you have a music class and then you have a politics class and they're just so different, but it's also so good because sometimes you just need a break from one of them.
Is that the Crawford Centre for Politics?
No, that's Crawford School of Public Policy.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure.
Which is top
science.
Yeah, what's fascinating about this, I mean, ANU draws researchers not only from all around Australia, but from all around the world. And across such a broad range of disciplines, sciences are very strong here, but also across all of the humanities, law, politics. It's an institution that has so much depth. Okay, so you mentioned politics and musicology. Can we unpack those a little bit more? Can we unpack those disciplines a little bit more? What's the day in a life look like when you're studying politics?
Yeah.
What classes like and that sort of stuff?
A day in a life is you'll typically have a lecture for 2 hours. And within that lecture, you're kind of, I guess all the classes I've taken already are very, I guess, stock standard in like, we're talking about like philosophy and ideologies in politics. And it's like, okay, why are policies the way that they are in every country? So you kind of have a 2-hour lecture where you're sitting there kind of questioning everything about the politics that you know. And then you'll have a tutorial, which is a 1-hour session with a smaller group of students that you get to unpack everything that you've just learned and kind of dive down. And the good thing about the tutorials is that they're always in person. So you always get to see the kind of like same people again. And yeah, that's your day in a life as a politics student.
Do you have any online classes or is everything in person?
Yeah. One of my electives is online, but none of my politics classes have been online. You'll find with ANU that everything is quite in-person focused after COVID. They moved back to that in-person model for undergrads, I guess. And it's good though, because you're always seeing the same people in your classes.
Let's dive into a day in the life studying musicology. For my benefit, what's the difference between straight music and musicology?
Yeah, that's a great question. In music, you have multiple majors you can do. You can do performance, music tech, musicology, composition. As a music student, you have these mandatory classes you have to do, but you also have your focus area. So my focus being musicology could be a class researching music in the 1900s or learning how to use production methods or things like that. Whereas if you're a performance student, your day in the life could look like being in lessons and ensemble groups all day. I guess that's a good thing about the music degree is that you get that flexibility to focus on whatever you want.
Yeah, it sounds really broad. I did music production at uni, did a couple of courses and absolutely loved it. Hilariously, I was doing a science degree, so music had nothing to do with my science degree, but I did a couple of electives anyway. And then 20 years later, suddenly realised, I love this video and this audio stuff. And all of that audio production stuff that I'd done at uni suddenly became relevant.
You don't realize how relevant it is in your life. All the courses you realize, you wouldn't realize music relates to so much, but it does.
Yeah, it's stuff that you can use literally every day once you get into it. Tell me about social life here on campus. So you said you're the social coordinator.
I am the social director indeed for my res hall. So social life, I guess, manifests in two different ways. The first one being within your res hall through the new model, which is our residential mentor. So that's pod events. That's meeting people that live within your residence. And then also your residence committee who they run, I've run O Week, Bush Week, which is a ball. We rent out the water park every year. This year we're renting out a gelato truck, and that's just for our residents to enjoy. So I guess that's one explanation of social life being very active. And then the other way is through societies, and there's so many different societies. We have a knitting society. I'm part of the arts and social science society, and it's meeting other people that are interested in the same things you are.
And I guess those societies probably range across the academic areas where you're studying, but also into interests and social interests and things like that as well.
Yeah, for sure. You have the societies who their basis is to connect you with other people that are studying things like you. And then you also have societies that you join just because they look interesting, like a chocolate society.
What?
A chocolate society where you eat chocolate.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Are you in the chocolate society?
I am a member.
Surely that society just has to hang up a banner every semester just saying, sorry, we are full.
You'd think so, but I think they're still open, always taking members. More chocolate to go around for everyone.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so now I need to get into that. So what is your preferred chocolate?
I think I'm a Ferrero Rocher girl at heart. I think they're a little bit bougie. I like the packaging, and you get a little you feel kind of special when you're having one. And then if not, I'm a Kinder Surprise is my second favorite.
Before we started recording, we were talking about the fact that you're thinking of maybe taking a sideways step into marketing and communications. Don't you think that branding is such a fascinating area?
Absolutely.
Right? You've just said it.
Branding literally applies to everything you do, to your own personal branding, to any job career aspect. And it's something that people are still trying to figure out what's the right way to brand.
And it's so true. You're just talking about Ferrero Rocher. Sorry, we're a complete what do you call it, digression here. But, Ferrero Rocher, part of the experience is literally opening up that little golden wrapper. And that kind of makes you feel a little bit special, doesn't it? That's
exactly.
Just branding. It's got nothing to do with the chocolate.
But it makes the chocolate taste better.
It does make the chocolate taste better. Yeah, amazing. Incredible. Actually, so what appeals to you about marketing and comms? What's tempting you to head in that direction?
Yeah, I think it is relevant to what I'm currently studying. You need marketing in everything. You need marketing in politics. You need marketing in music. There's no area in life that marketing isn't needed. Hence why I'm so interested, because I think it just opens up so many avenues for personal branding, like we said, and also learning, all right, if I go down this specific career path, how am I going to know what to market, what I'm selling? I need to sell myself. I need to sell myself to every job I'm going to do in life.
So true.
G'day, it's Rob here. Hey, are you a parent or a carer of a student that's thinking of going to uni in the years ahead? Did you know that Choosing Your Uni has a whole bunch of resources that are just for people like you? And you can find those at parents.choosingyouruni.com. You're going to find things like links to our Facebook community, downloadable worksheets, and heaps of advice by parents for parents. It's all the sort of stuff that you need to help guide your student on their journey to uni and beyond. Check it out now, parents.choosingyouruni.com.
So from where we're sitting, I'm looking out at Badger & Co., which is the uni bar, beautiful uni bar. It's a spectacular blue sky day here in Canberra. The flowers are just starting to bud everywhere. It's a little bit alarming because it's only it's September now. So it's technically spring, so maybe less alarming than 1 week ago when they were already flowering. But a beautiful day out on campus. You've got people walking up and down University Avenue here, beautiful wide boulevard. But as we were walking past the Badger & Co. uni bar, very, as you say, bushy uni bar, and you were saying to me that, you're studying music and politics, but how even studying those, there are jobs related to politics that need musicians or event managers and things like that, and how regardless of what you end up studying, there's a job in your discipline area, perhaps in an area you hadn't expected. So like being a musician, but linked into politics. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think that part of coming to uni is finding what you want to do. And it's definitely not taken me the first try to know, yes, this is what I want to do. Everyone changes degrees, everyone changes jobs. And I think by coming here, I found, all right, well, like if I want to work in politics, for example, you know, you're going to need someone to organize those events. You're going to need someone to organize music. You're not going to need someone to work on campaigns and market that campaign. You don't think about, in a lot of campaigns you hear, you know, a lot of politicians, a lot of diplomacy, they use music. Culture is such a big thing, and music is how you represent culture. Politics is reflected within the music you use. I guess they kind of cross over, and I think once I leave ANU and my time is done, I'll find those skills useful, because someone's going to need, some politician or some political party or some job is going to need someone that knows something about music, and I'll be that person.
It's so true, isn't it? You just don't see that, I think, until you get to uni. Uni is such a wonderful broadening opportunity where suddenly you realise maybe you're an environmentalist, but mining companies, which seems like the antithesis of, you know, environmentalists, like they need environmentalists. And in fact, you can make an amazing positive impact in a big company that you might not even expect is on your career trajectory. So I think it's really cool for people to be able to realise that it's almost like the job will open up to you while you're here at uni, won't it?
Exactly. You come to uni, you meet people who are working in fields that you've never even heard of before, and you're like, that sounds so cool, now I want to do that. And I guess that's kind of the beauty of doing a double degree as well, that you have these different areas you're combining and different people you're meeting. Thinking
about the people that you've met and that you know now, is there one that stands out to you as being that kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe that you can actually study that?
I feel like there's so many weird things people study that I don't know the names of all of them. It's like when people do like a visual arts degree and then they do science, like, does that work? No, not really. But also when you think about it, when you're doing science, you're going to need someone to make models of molecules and cells and things like that. You're going to need to know how to draw. And I guess that's a pretty cool degree combination, visual arts and science.
100%. There are actually scientific artists that do that kind of work. And that's a rare skill. So, in fact, those people get paid a lot more money than you might possibly realise just because it's so specific. I remember hearing on a podcast, you know, they say 50% of people end up with a degree. But if you've got one degree, okay, you're one of that 50% of people. But if you have a double degree, suddenly you're not one of 50% with that degree combination, you're one of 10%. And then if while you're at university you add on a study abroad experience, suddenly you're not part of 10%, you're one of 2%. And if you add on an internship, then suddenly you're not part of 2%, you're part of, you know, 0.5%. And this is the interesting thing I think about university, is that you can layer on all these other experiences in order to make your skill set really stand out when you end up going and looking for a job. What are the other sorts of things that you're involved in or you're interested in exploring here at uni?
Yeah, well, I'm actually part of the ANU solar racing team, so I just want to give them a shout out.
Wow. Awesome.
Which I think is quite an interesting one to explore as well, because you think the solar racing team all is engineers, but then you have these incredible engineering students who are making the car, but you also have a business team who is doing all the marketing, planning all the trips, all the outreach and stuff like that. So that's something else I'm involved in at uni, which I think is really cool.
How on earth did you get into that?
You're
a musician. You're a musician and a politician. Like, how did you get into solar car racing?
Through a friend, I won't lie. But also because if you see the solar car, you think that's so cool. Like, they've made this entire car by themselves, these engineering students. And you're like, well, I'm just a little old not engineering student. How can I be a part of that and say I was a part of that team?
It's so true. I remember being in first year and walking down a corridor with a biology lecturer, and he pointed to a biology lab and said, oh, and here's the biodiversity lab, and you can volunteer here. It was just a throwaway comment, and we kept walking. And I don't know why, but that just connected with me. And I was like, oh, volunteer in a biology lab? That sounds like fun. And I remember going up to him and asking him after a lecture, so that biology lab, could I volunteer? And he looked shocked that I'd actually taken up the opportunity. But that ended up leading to so many amazing things for me at university. And isn't that the beautiful thing about once you're here, your friend says, oh, solar car. And you're like, well, that sounds pretty good. I think I'll get involved in that.
Exactly. Like, you come to uni and you do all these things that you'd never expect that you were going to do. I never thought I'd even see a solar car, but now here I am taking photos of it, helping to market it. I think that's really cool. It's so outside my field.
So you're thinking of changing direction a little bit and doing more on the sort of communications, marketing side of things. How easy is that process here at ANU? Is it easy for people to change?
So easy. You go online, you log into your uni account and you fill out the form. If you've met those GPA requirements, then you'll be able to change. Now, that's just the good thing. Obviously, you're going to have some degrees that everyone's trying to get into, like law, all of those top tier degrees, but all of the more stock standard degrees, arts, commerce, science, which are really, they have so many different areas you'll find. If you've met those GPA requirements, they'll let you transfer in that online process.
Alyssa, let's get to the guts of it. Why should people pick ANU?
Yeah, I think the really cool thing is we have all these opportunities. Like, we're the only national university in Australia. That's a pretty big selling point for a young person. And with that, you have national internship program. And with that, we have all these connections to government and non-government organizations where you're able to do an internship like at an embassy or a company or the Australian Signals Director, all of these really big organizations that you can't do anywhere else purely because we are the national university.
The university does have some extraordinary research strengths. I know that there are more Nobel laureates that have come from the ANU than from any other institution. And of course, it's one of the group of 8 universities, which is one of the top 8 Australian research institutions. So incredible research going on across a broad range of disciplines here at this institution. It's also quite a heavily postgraduate university. I think it's about 60-40 off the top of my head. So a very high level of academic study is possible here as well. And relatively small institution, actually. It's got a huge physical footprint, but only 18,000 students. And that was a conscious decision of the university many years ago now, in order to sort of keep that footprint smaller, but really focus on maintaining a very high level of academic quality and a very high level of student experience as well. So those are all things that, as an external observer, I've seen over the years that have really played for this university and played to its strengths.
Yeah, I think like it's a luxury or like it's a privilege to go to ANU because you're one of such a small group of undergrad students compared to other universities who have such big undergraduate cohorts, and you get that privilege to connect with researchers and people who are already in a professional field that you want to work in that you don't really always get at every other university because there's so many people fighting for it.
Is there anyone that shouldn't study in Canberra? Anyone that doesn't suit? Let's start with the obvious one.
Yeah.
If you don't like the cold.
If you like the beach, I feel like this might not be the place for you. But I think it comes down to like what your profession is. Like, I think in Canberra, like you're going to find your people no matter what. You're going to find what you want to do. I think there's so much flexibility. I don't think I could really say there's no one who shouldn't be in Canberra. Why aren't you?
Let's talk a little bit more about extracurriculars. So things like learning abroad programs and maybe sport as well. Where does the university sit in those areas?
Yeah. We have a whole team dedicated to exchanges. We have our global programs team. What they do is we have over 100 partnership universities from my memory, and with that we send students there and they send students here, which is really cool. So you could be looking at doing a 6-month exchange to a 1-year exchange, or even a short course. Like I had a bunch of friends who have gone to Fiji over the mid-sem break to go do some research, which is really cool. I'm currently applying to do a language course in Indonesia, which is really cool, and that's completely out of my field, and that's just because I was like, oh well, I want to study something else that's a little bit different. As a student at ANU, you have all these global programs opportunities with that.
Sidebar, is that the Achichis program, the Achichis language program? Fantastic. New Colombo Plan funding scholarship, is that what you're aiming for too?
Yes, what I'm aiming for.
Awesome.
Find out in a couple of weeks.
Fingers crossed for those of you who haven't heard of it. Worth looking up the new Colombo plan. It's an Australian government program, and the funding is just so generous. Whether it's a short experience where you can have an experience of 4 weeks up to a semester in somewhere in the Indo-Pacific region, right up to a 19-month in-depth experience in multiple countries across the Indo-Pacific, funded up to, wait for it, $100,000 worth of support in order for you to have a depth experience in the Indo-Pacific region. It's an extraordinary program. New Colombo plan is definitely worth looking into. Alyssa, sport. We've just seen some really nice facilities. There's a new pool, which has been built since the last time I was here. I can see some really nice outdoor sporting fields. I'm a trail runner. This Black Mountain, which is like staring us in the face right there. It's almost taunting me. I ran it yesterday. It was a punish.
I think we need to talk about the unique new sport that we're the only university in all of Australia that does it. Have you ever heard of Inward Bound?
No.
So Inward Bound is a very unique sport where you get blindfolded. They put you in a car. You get driven around for around 5 to 6 hours and you get dropped at a point. At this point, you're in a team of 4 people. You have a tracker so we can track you, a compass, a map, some food and water, and you have to run between 100 to 50 kilometers depending on what division you're in.
What?
Yeah, and it's very competitive. People are fighting to get into these teams. So that's a quite unique one when you think about sport.
50 to 100 kilometers? What?
Yeah, so the highest division starts with 100 kilometers, so that's Division 1, and they're running overnight.
Holy smokes. But how on earth do they know where they are?
They've got a compass and they've got a map.
And they just go.
They got to navigate to the endpoint, which is put on the map.
For those people who want maybe a more human level of sport, what other sorts of facilities are
Yeah,
here?
well, obviously we have uni games here next week, so it must be pretty good. And you have anything from social sport. If you're someone who's not really keen on sport, you could do social soccer, social volleyball. But if you're someone who's really, really keen on sport, ANU Sport has a bunch of teams that play competitively in uni games. But you also have some societies who have their own sports. So like, for example, we have a snowboarding society who do regular trips to the snow.
My last question for you, Alyssa. Let's say somebody is going to come to the ANU. Maybe it's local Canberran or somebody coming from somewhere else in Australia coming into Canberra to study. What's your secret tip for the ANU? It could be like a cool place to go and hang out, cool place to study, the best place to eat. What's your insider tip?
My insider information. Ooh. The School of Music. You don't have to be a music student, but they have the best study spot. When it's exams and everyone else is fighting for their life in the library, I can guarantee you will find a spot to sit in the School of Music.
And where on campus is that?
That's located right at the start of campus, the top of University Avenue, right across from the Family Court of Australia.
Got it. My guest today on Choosing Your Uni has been Alyssa from the Australian National University. It's been super good diving deep on this incredible institution. I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us all.
At Choosing Your Uni, our mission is to make finding your ideal institution and your degree fun, easy and stress-free. So if you're looking to save some time, to discover more and to get personalised advice for every step of your journey, check out choosingyouruni.com. Our theme music is composed by Pasha Shogi and his band Flow, and this episode has been researched and constructed on Gadigal land in Sydney. Until next time, have yourself an awesome day.